So a very quick tour of Scratch and how the workspace, how you're going to work inside of Scratch. Now here is your stage. Now that's what your game or your application or your animation or whatever it is that you're creating, that's where all the action takes place. Now over here, this small area is where the backdrop is. Now at the moment we're using a plain white backdrop. But I can choose a new backdrop from the library. Let's use something useful here. I'm just going to go into the other category, and I'm going to use the X and Y grid as my backdrop. Okay, you can also draw your own backdrops if you want. You can also upload them, like a photo that you might have taken or something like that. You can also take a photo with your own webcam, so you could put your own face as the backdrop if you really wanted to. Okay, here is the sprite area. Now the sprite is an object in the animation or the game or whatever it is that will do something. Okay, so in this case we have a cat, and we can move that cat around. Okay, we can, in the same way that we create a new backdrop, we can also create new sprites. Okay, so I might just add a second sprite. Hip Hop Dancer looks like a good sprite. Let's use him. Okay, Hip Hop Dancer is way too big compared to my cat. So I'm just going to make it smaller by going over here to the little shrink button and clicking on him. And just if I click on him repeatedly, click, 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 he'll get smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay. Once you move your mouse around, you lose the shrinking, and now I can just click him and move him around. Alright, so now I've got two characters on my two sprites on my screen. I've got a cat and I've got hip hop guy. Alright, finally the last section of Scratch is this section here, the workspace. The workspace, you can see that here at the moment I've selected scripts. Now they're the coding commands. So a script is a series of commands. So here's where we're going to put all of our scripts. Now we can also look at the costumes. Now we have a sprite here, but the sprite is actually, we can actually change his costume. And if I look at my other sprite, I can change that sprite's costume as well. So we have a nice little walking action for that sprite. Okay, so that's the way that Scratch works. There's 4 areas. The action area, we've got our backdrops, we've got our sprites, and then we've got this section here. That's where we're going to do our coding. That's where all of the that's where the meat of it happens, right in here. Okay, that's Scratch Tour.